This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. Part 93 of why what? Errol the True Spence is going to what? Bulldoze Shawn Constipated Porter. You guys just heard emphatically in part 92 how I broke down fight camp part 3. Now we're going to revisit this again. There's a clear disconnect. Kenny Porter is letting you know. Barry Hunter's letting you know in his facial expression. And Larry Wade is letting you know. There is an issue in that camp, folks. It's been an issue. I told you guys. If Kenny Porter could have traded his son for adoption for Errol the True Spence, he would have been done this. Let me say it again. If Kenny Porter could have traded his son for adoption for Errol the True Spence, he would have been done it. Do you guys not listen to Kenny Porter when he talks about Errol the True Spence? It's like a estranged, weird dad and son communication or connection. Let me say it again. It's like a weird and estranged dad and son communication or connection. That's what we're hearing when they talk. Because Kenny Porter is sitting here and saying daddy. I mean, it's disturbing for a grown-ass man to talk about another grown-ass fighter in that vernacular. Let me say it again. It's very disturbing. I know it's disturbing to me. I don't know if it's disturbing to you that a grown-ass man like Kenny Porter is talking about another grown-ass man in Errol the True Spence in that vernacular. Vernacular just means verbiage, term. And that's what he's doing. He's calling himself daddy. Dude, you weren't even the main trainer in that Olympics team. You were an assistant trainer and your son was an alternate. Let me say it again. You were an assistant trainer and your son was an alternate. What are folks not getting here, man? This is the stuff that I'm talking about. This is the Rudy Poo and the Plum Brain stuff. Let me say it again. This is the Rudy Poo and the Plum Brain stuff that these classic dotes and these troglodytes are coming with. If you guys go watch Fight Camp Part 3, you'll have everything that you need to know to revisit this whole unanimous decision and split decision nonsense. A fight of this magnitude. You're fighting the hardest fighter of your career in Errol the True Spence. And your dad is still letting your ass know, mind you, in sparring now. They're not even going full bore. The southpaw is fucking out jabbing you. He's outlanding you with shots through the jab. What do you think Errol the True Spence is going to do when you're in an actual real fight? The bright lights are on. You're at this stage. Because mind you, Shawn Constipated Porter's never been at this stage. He's never been in before 40,000+ fans. He's never been in there above 27 to 28,000 fans. Errol the True Spence been here. Mikey Garcia fight. Kell Brook fight. Errol the True Spence went all the way to Sheffield in the UK to do this. Errol the True Spence did this in Dallas at the new Dallas Cowboys Stadium. That's been around just for a few years now. By my estimation, what, 8-9 years? Come on, man. What are we talking about here? Errol the True Spence shows you in the bright lights he can perform. Are you guys not realizing this? Mayweather talked about this. It's a different level. It's a different stage. And you got these classic dotes and troglodytes because they hate on Floyd Mayweather saying he messed up boxing. No, he didn't. He brought up the standard of boxing. Let me say it again. You have these classic dotes and these troglodytes that are saying that Floyd Mayweather messed up boxing. No, he didn't. Now, I don't care what Floyd Mayweather does outside of the ring, but inside of the ring, he's done a whole lot. He's brought fighters' values up. He's brought their money up. He's brought their ability to be power brokers and power players up. He started that trend. He's the trendsetter in that regard. He's the pioneer in that regard. So folks got to hats off to him. They got to give him his respect. So I don't know this nonsense. All of a sudden, every time people want to take shots at Floyd Mayweather, when Floyd Mayweather set the bar high and show fighters that no, you're not just animal that they can just put in the cage and lock you up. No, you actually are a human being that actually can make money, and you can become your own entrepreneur. This is what the standard that he has set, and people are mad about that because he set the standard of being a man with purpose and an abundance mindset, and he's making these other fighters have that same mindset, and people are hating on that. See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about with these haters and these damn trolls. They have insecure, miserable as fuck lives, so they want to protrude that nonsense onto, you know what I'm saying, people that are successful in doing their own stuff. That's the truth of the fact of the matter, folks. When you look at this fight, you look at Fight Camp Part 3, what is there not to see, man? I'm stating the most commonest sense and stating the most obvious here. There's a disconnection between Kenny Porter and Shawn Porter. I mean, come on. If you're quote unquote doing film study, right? You're quote unquote looking at all of the finite details in terms of what happens in the square circle. This has to be glaring in your mind. What are you not getting? Like, how do you wrap your head around a guy who can't box for shit, right? Who's constipated, hence the name Shawn Constipated Porter. He's going to all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, have the gumption of becoming a master boxer overnight, and he's going to do something that he's never done in his boxing career, outbox Errol the True Spence? Because that's what it's going to have to take in order for him to win. He's going to have to be a true master boxer. Remember, we went through this rendition already with Mikey Garcia. Wasn't he, quote unquote, considered the Mexican Mayweather? Let me say it again. Wasn't he, quote unquote, considered the Mexican Mayweather? This is what ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric was trying to tell you. And a lot of people fell for that shit. Even YouTubers that are respected fell for this shit and thought that Mikey Garcia had a chance against Errol the True Spence. Who was the only one that was bringing you motherfuckers down to earth? It was Hinos' Sport, bringing you that what? That heat and that fire. And Hinos' Sport, keeping the foot on the what? On the necks. Keeping the foot on the what? On the necks. And applying what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It busts fucking pipes. I'm the one that did that. I set the standard. I already told you about this percentage stuff. All of this stuff about 70%, 30%, 65%, 35%, 55%, 45%. When you give percentages in boxing, you're giving percentages of yourself. Let me say that again. What I said was so deep and profound. This one needs to marinate in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. Hear me and hear me well. When you give percentages of yourself, you're giving, when you're in this percentage nonsense, right? And you're talking about percentages, this means that you're giving a percentage of yourself as an individual. It tells that you're not giving 100%. You're only giving a percentage, which you become part of that Rudy Poo and Plum lane of, oh, I have to have my cake and eat it too. We don't play that game over here. Hinos' Sport is setting a standard for the Hinos' Sport family, the Hinos' Sport movement, and the Hinos' Sport lifestyle. I told you, it's a movement, it's a family, and it's a lifestyle. And the lifestyle is we do standards 100% to 0. You have to be confident. You have to stick on a position, land on the position, and double down with it with confidence and fortitude. Let me say it again. You have to stick on a position, land on that motherfucker, and double down on it with confidence and fortitude. That's what we do here. We're not talking too sideways out of our ass like Shawn Constipated Porter what? Booty boy. Let me say it again. Like Shawn Constipated Porter what? Booty boy. We don't do stuff like that here. We come with facts. And it's cold-hearted and it's unadulterated and it's cutthroat. If you're still rummaging in your mind that Errol the True Spence is going to win by unanimous decision or split decision, it just tells me that you're a confused individual. Let me say it again. If you're rummaging in your mind that Errol the True Spence is going to win by unanimous decision and split decision, it just tells me your film study has failed you. You ain't been watching Errol the True Spence. Because if you've been watching Errol the True Spence the way that I've been watching Errol the True Spence, you know he's going to bulldoze Shawn Constipated Porter. Didn't he say that at the end of the Mikey Garcia fight? What did he say? It didn't come out of my mouth. It came out of his mouth. He said, I'm going back to what? I'm going back to bulldozing niggas. Let me say it again. I'm going back to what? I'm going back to bulldozing niggas. That came out of Errol the True Spence's mouth. He said, fuck this boxing shit. Meaning he's now prepared for man down and strap season. This is a unification bout, so strap season is enacted. Man down because it's a man that's in front of him. So we talking man down strap season now, folks. What are you guys not getting here? Tactical aggression versus ineffective aggression. What are we talking about? So a guy who's constipated, who don't know how to box for shit, all of a sudden has become a guy that's going to give Errol the True Spence problems? He's going to give him fits? Don't make me laugh, man. So if you quote unquote are doing boxing film study and you're really studying this sport, and then you come to these Rudy Poo and Plum brain conclusions, then you really need to reassess yourself. It's really that simple, folks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. This is Hinos' Sport. Checking out.